Hey everybody, my name is Tate Emmons, and we're excited to partner with Singing News TV to bring you a brand new series called Legends. It's 10 episodes and 10 legends. We'll have an inside look on some of the living legends of Southern gospel music. You'll hear their stories directly from them, and we might even sing a song together. So subscribe to Singing News TV and check out Legends today. Hey everybody, my name is Tate Emmons, and welcome to Singing News TV. For today we'll be spending time with one of the living legends of Southern gospel music. Their stories are fascinating, their songs never get old, and their contributions have been priceless. One thing that makes a legend is that they invest into the next generation. And this man does just that. I'll never forget the night of my release party for my debut album, Means Something to Me, when I walked into the room and one of the first faces I saw was this man. He drove on a bus all day to get there. He didn't have to, but he came. Today we'll be talking to one of the founding members of one of the greatest quartets of all time, the Inspirations. It's an honor to call him a friend, the legend, Mr. Troy Burns. Hey everybody, my name is Tate Emmons. Welcome to this episode of Legends. And today we have Brother Troy Burns. Look, I gotta tell this. Yesterday, where we were at, it was 80 degrees. We were burning up. And we got here today and it was 40 degrees, and I've got your coat on right now.
Yes.
And you've got Tammy's coat on right now. We're freezing to death.
And Tammy's coat has this fuzz inside. Usually I don't wear a coat like this, but hey, it's keeping me warm, so we're set, buddy.
Well, look, I guess that's the style now. But look, we want to know about how the Inspirations began. And first of all, thank you for letting me be here today with you. Tell us about how the Inspirations came about.
Well, thank you, Tate. I appreciate everything that you're doing as a young man for Southern gospel, keeping this music alive. In 1964, me, Archie, Jack, and Ronnie were students right here. You can almost see the school behind us over the mountains there, Swain County High School. And Martin Cook was a science and math teacher, and he was fresh out of the Army. We all grew up listening to Southern gospel music. And so we would meet at his house. He's the only one that had a piano. So we would meet at his house 2 or 3 times a week and just sing till sometimes midnight. Archie did the tenor, Jack did the baritone, Ronnie was the lead singer, and I sang bass back then. And so we sang for quite a while that way. And then one thing led to another. We made some albums, and then we came out with Jesus Is Coming Soon. We were the first group to ever record that song. So we sat down in the living room floor and we mailed out to all the radio stations in the country that played Southern gospel. And we sent them an album with Jesus Is Coming Soon on it. And overnight, it changed our life and theirs too. I like your hair today.
Look, this wind is killing me. Goodness.
Now, reminds me of our little Aussie doodle. She gets like it sometimes. Okay, now.
I would like to say this real quick. Please don't judge my hair in this interview. The wind's going. I look like a hot mess.
No, you're fine, buddy.
I thought enough hairspray would hold it down, but apparently it doesn't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anyway, every DJ all of a sudden, just overnight, was playing Jesus Is Coming Soon. So here we were, a bunch of teenage redneck boys with the #1 song. We thought we were hot stuff, and sometimes we would have people come up and pitch songs to us because they wanted us to sing their songs because we had a #1 song. Well, this one old guy kept bothering us around Nashville, Tennessee, and every time we'd see him coming, we'd run off into a different dressing room and hide from him. He'd come backstage into our dressing room. So his name was Bill Gaither. So he got the last laugh, but anyway, that's sort of how we started.
Eventually along that line, and if there's something before this, tell us, but you guys got on the gospel singing Jubilee. Now I'm young and I don't know much about the gospel singing Jubilee, so can you tell us what exactly was that?
Okay, back before you were ever thought of, we had 3 main avenues of communication. TV. You had ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Right.
That's the only 3 channels you had. You didn't have cable, you didn't have anything. So we were on one of those channels. And Les Beasley and the Florida Boys was the MC of that. And we were on there for 15 years, every Sunday morning to about 3 million people watched it.
So do you think that really helped the Inspirations fame? Because people that wouldn't go to a concert could hear every Sunday morning gospel singing in the Inspiration.
By far, that's the best thing that ever happened to us, because we couldn't go into a restaurant then. It's like today. Like today, if you were on American Idol and you went into a restaurant to eat, that's the way it was back then.
Right.
Because everybody watched that show, and so it put like the Florida Boys, the Goodmans, the Inspirations, Dixie Echoes, and Hensons.
Right.
It put those groups on the map.
So you said you started off as the bass singer for the Inspirations, but eventually you became the lead. In 1977, you won Favorite Lead in Southern Gospel Music. So when did you become the lead singer for the Inspirations?
Well, I left the group for 6 months. And while I was gone, they hired Marlon Schubert to sing bass. And so in 6 months, I came back and I was playing the bass for a while. Well, Ronnie Hutchins left, so they needed a lead singer. So I just stepped in and started singing lead and did it on all the albums, concerts, and everything. And it was just a natural progression, I guess.
So eventually, you guys started the singing in the Smokies. Now tell us about that.
We started up in Silva, which is a little town 20 miles from Bryson City, on a football field. We did that a couple of years. Then there's a little private airport in Bryson City just over these mountains. And we were there for a couple of years. And then we rented this spot right here that you see behind us. And this shed down here behind us, right behind there, was the stage for years and years and years. I guess for 40 years, close 35 years. And we had the singing in Smokies. We had huge crowds. And see, back then we were on that gospel singing Jubilee. So we would advertise that us and the Florida Boys and the Goodmans would be here. Well, all this property you see behind us would be covered in cars. And there would be thousands of people. I've seen 8,000-10,000 people here on one concert when we were on the Gospel Singing Jubilee. It was there for years and years. The Inspiration sold. They bought this park later. They sold it. The county owns it now. And so that's what all these facilities now got new bathrooms. We have this big covered shed behind us here where the audience will sit. And Tammy and I started the singing back in 2024. And you were here singing with us.
That's right.
And so we didn't know when we started it last year, we didn't know if we would have 200 people or 2,000. So we ended up with 3,000 or 4,000 people a night.
I'd say that's a success.
Yes, and we have already completely sold out of VIP tickets for 2025. And you've got a full slot.
That's right.
In this year, and we're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Well, how about this? Why did you start the singing in the Smokies again?
Okay, that's the story that my wife could tell better than me, but we had planned on having a Troy Burns family reunion, not reunion, but like a anniversary thing, homecoming thing. And so we'd been, okay, we're gonna have it in North Georgia. We want to have it at that really nice facility in Franklin. And so one day she was here in Bryson City getting her hair fixed, and she was driving up the road at 74, and she thought, I'm just gonna go up there and check out the singing grounds. So when she drove up here, she saw all this new stuff, and this new building and everything, and she called me, and she said, Troy, we're gonna have a homecoming here. And so she and I had planned on having a Troy Burns family homecoming at the spot.
Right.
We went ahead and booked several groups like Mark Cramble Quartet, Greater Vision. And I said, Tammy, we may have to borrow some money after this is over. We don't know what's gonna happen. We started talking to Archie Watkins, one of the original members, who owns the Inspirations now.
Right.
And so he and I got to talking, and he said, let's let the Inspirations sing. And I said, well, if it's gonna be the Inspirations, we need to call it Singing in Smokies again. So that's why we went back to Singing in Smokies' name, because that's what everybody knows.
Genius idea.
And so then that's where we are. And it was my wife's idea, so I'm gonna give her all the credit.
Yes, sir.
She probably watched this video, and
Mhm.
I need to get her.
Look, now, I want you to give them the personal invitation to come, but I just want to tell you personally that when I came last year and I sang every night, it's the greatest spirit. It was the greatest spirit here. It was a wonderful couple of days. And you could give all the information about it if you want to give a little plug for it.
Well, it's not just a concert.
Right.
This is like a family experience, and it's been happening. The people that are bringing their children and grandchildren
Right.
came as kids for years. So the atmosphere is this. During the week, we'll have tubing down Deep Creek.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have softball tournament. Every morning at 9:30, we have.
I didn't know about that. I'll have to make it to that.
For sure, for sure. And every morning at 9:30, we have chapel services. We have food trucks lined up with the best food in the world. We have the best strawberry ice cream. Woo, and it's got a cake in the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give my wife credit. She started that years ago too. So that's just the fringe benefits of the Southern gospel music that happens every night.
Right.
So it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And you know, we have Karen Peck, Kingsman, Chuck Wagon Gang, everybody.
Well, how about this? We're going to take just a small break, but stay right where you are. I'm going to try to get my hair fixed. We'll be right back.
Mine too.
With this episode.
I've got to fix mine too.
We'll be right back with this episode of Legend.
Dreaming of an unforgettable getaway filled with music, faith, and breathtaking ocean views? Join Tate Emmons aboard the Harmony at Sea 2026 cruise. Setting sail February 23rd through the 28th on the Carnival Freedom. We're heading to Celebration Key, Nassau, and the stunning Half Moon Cay. A trip that's part paradise, part praise, and all unforgettable. Alongside Tate Emmons, enjoy the Browders, the Allens, Right Road Quartet, Danny Funderburg, Heart to Heart, the Seiler family, and more. Be sure to register with Tate Emmons so you can be part of his special onboard events and exclusive experiences. Expect live concerts, powerful worship, artist meet and greets, and plenty of fun at sea. Whether you're soaking up the sun or singing under the stars, this is a trip you don't want to miss. Cabins are limited, so book now. Visit www.praise.events or call 865-278-3681 and sign up with Tate Emmons to set sail for a week of music, inspiration, and adventure. Harmony at Sea 2026, where faith, music, and fun come together. Get ready for a weekend of incredible music in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Singing in the Smokies 2025 is almost here. It's going to be an unforgettable celebration of gospel music, talent, and tradition. Join us Thursday through Saturday, July 3rd through the 5th, with the Inspirations, the Troy Birch family, the Chuck Wagon Gang, Jeff Tolbert and Primitive Road, the Isbells, Resurrection Quartet, the Wisnets, Jonathan Wilburn, Tate Emmons, the Blythe family, McCamey Reunion, Karen Peck and New River, the Kingsmen, and the Dove Brothers. Singing in the Smokies 2025 in beautiful, scenic Bryson City, North Carolina. The Hopper Heritage Foundation has been awarding scholarships for more than 2 decades, helping to further the education of future Christian leaders, whether music, teaching, missions. The scope is vast and the potential is yours. To learn more, visit thehopperheritagefoundation.org and submit your application today.
Hey everybody, my name is Tate Emmons and welcome back to this episode of Legends. And today we have the legend Troy Burns with us today. Now we've talked about your time with the Inspirations and we've talked about the Inspirations, but now we want to talk about you a little bit. In 2017, you were inducted into the Southern Gospel Hall of Fame. How'd that feel?
You said legends. Is legends supposed to wear like tights and a Cape. Or
Well,
is that just Heroes?
no, Legends is
picking
just
on
a
you.
legend.
I'm picking on you. Let me tell you what happened. It's funny. So Tammy and Arthur Rice, who's president of STMA, they made it up that they were going to surprise me. I had no idea that I was going to the Hall of Fame. And so we sang at this church close here in Waynesville, and they had a TV screen set up in the church that morning. And right in the middle of our set, the pastor comes up and said, wait a minute, hold on a minute. We got a special guest. And all of a sudden, Arthur Rice came on. Well, it was like close to Memorial Day or something. And I thought, well, the Kingdom Heirs are gonna do a special tribute or something. And so Arthur Rice came on, and then he started talking about, we're gonna induct Troy Burns into the Southern Gospel Music Association Hall of Fame. So it really didn't hit me until Tammy and I finished the concert and we started driving back home. And I said, Tammy, Google that Hall of Fame and call out some of the names that are in there. And so she Googled it and she said, Dottie Rambo, Bill Gaither, and she started right on down the list. I said, whoa. I said, are you serious? So it really hit me, the weight and the responsibility to know that you're in a Hall of Fame, like the Football Hall of Fame or the Baseball Hall of Fame. And the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame is the same kind of thing. It's the greatest honor as an artist in this industry that you can have. It's an honor.
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Troy, you're still going strong today with your group, the Troy Burns Family.
I retired from Inspirations. My wife and I went into business, and we did quite well in private business. And then we just, one day, we were singing in church together, and in 2008, there was a crisis, a housing crisis hit, and so our businesses went south. And so she said, you know, I feel like we should sing. So we went out, cut a record, and now we were doing like 140 dates a year.
Man,
she and I, we've been singing 10 years, 12, 11 years. 11 years, she went like this in the background. 11. So for 11 years, wait,
she's still saying that.
In 2011.
Oh, we started in 2011. So anyway, we've been singing for years as the Troy Burns Family. We've had several pretty good songs. Somebody Go Get Jesus. I know it was the #1 song in Christian Voice magazine. Yeah. And so, and we got a new, in fact, we have a brand new radio single today. It's called I Am a Believer.
Yes, sir.
So you'll need to go listen to that. It's pretty cool. And, but Tammy and I are both on Social Security now. And so we don't want to sing 140 days a year. We are singing this 40, 50, 30, ever what we want to do at this stage in our life. We're enjoying our grandchildren. So that's the story of Troy Burns Family.
Well, Brother Troy, you put so much effort into investing in young people. You've invested to me, and it means so much to me. But why do you invest into young people in gospel music and young people in general like you do?
Years ago, we had this huge house. And so we had a thing at our house called The Gathering. And each week we would have speakers come in. Like we would have principals and state senators and coaches and those kind of people would come in every week and speak to these kids. We would have pizza, we would have music, and sometimes it'd be 75 or 80 kids every week at our house.
Wow.
And so we went from that to our sons all played sports, and we would feed the whole team, and they'd all get in the hot tub after every game. So we've always loved to see what kids can do if you give them a chance.
Right.
And we have found over the years that what we sow into this young generation like you, we get back 100-fold. because we don't realize what kind of influence. We don't know by the time you get my age how many people you will have sung to or they will have heard your songs that you wrote. And so if I've had a small part in you starting, I'm invested in that.
Yes, sir.
And so, in fact, we just had a young lady that sang with us for a little bit, was on American Idol. She went all the way to Hollywood, went through the arena, and then of course, she made the top 62, but,
Wow.
and she's like a worship leader. And so those kind of things make us realize it's been worth the journey.
Yes, sir.
And it's really fun to see young people when they're given a chance.
Yes, sir.
Because the sky's the limit. If you trust in God and do your best for yourself. I can bring you some fish to eat, but I'd rather teach you how to fish.
That's right. Yes, sir. I said this in the introduction, but I remember when my debut album, Means Something to Me, came. Y'all drove all the way to Mississippi to come and invest in me and come to my release party, and y'all never know how much I appreciate that. Do you have any advice for any young people?
Yes, I do. Work hard, stay in school, believe in yourself. The greatest gift that a young person has is faith in Jesus. And over the years, I mentioned earlier that we had the gathering in our home. We've seen numerous kids get saved.
Wow.
And give their heart to Jesus. Some of them are pastors now. Believe in yourself.
Yes, sir.
God made you as different from anybody else in this whole world. And you have a certain place. It's like putting in a key in a lock. That one key is the only thing that'll open that lock. And your life and your influence is the only thing that will work in God's plan for your life.
Well, I want to touch on one last thing before we go. Obviously, the inspirations today are on fire. I mean, it's just like a wild, they are on fire. You have to be proud of that.
Absolutely. Because we started in the 60s and 70s. We did just simple gospel music, and everybody loved it. And so it's the same thing. It's like if you close your eyes and you see these young guys today, it's us in the 70s, the sound, everything about it. And so I'm not only just proud of these young guys, but I'm excited and encouraged with the fact that that kind of Southern gospel music is still alive and well, and people enjoy it. So many young people are coming to the concerts now.
Yes, sir.
So yes, I'm proud of those guys.
Well, Brother Troy, thank you so much for letting me be here today. Look, I've enjoyed this, being here at the Inspiration Park where y'all have been having Singing in the Smokies. Did I get that name right? I don't know.
You got every one of them right, baby.
Well, y'all have been having Singing in the Smokies here for forever, and that is just great. Thank you, Brother Troy, for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Tate.
But before I go, I think we ought to sing one together. Is there one you want to sing?
We could try How Great Thou Art.
Okay.
Okay. Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. Help me. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
we go.
And this church one Sunday morning. And on the stage, there was this grill that came up for the air conditioning. And we'd moved the pulpit, so we were singing. Tammy had their high heel shoes on, and she was walking around singing this beautiful song. Got her heel caught in that grill, and she ended up in the pastor's lap on the front row. And that was fun. That was really fun.
It wasn't funny for her, but it was funny for
It
you.
was really funny.
Brother Troy,
Yeah.
thank you for telling us some of these funny stories. I appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey everybody, my name is Tate Emmons, and thank you for watching this episode of Legends, a series where we honor the generations that came before us and paved the way. But I'd like to speak about a generation who has not had the chance to pave their way. A generation stolen, sold, and abused. Over 1 million children have been abducted and are being used for sexual exploitation and slavery. Just as young as 18 months old, but on average, just 15 years old. That's my age. It's a $99 billion industry generated by stolen children each year. It's a tragic epidemic that can no longer be ignored or overlooked. Over 1 million children's voices have been silenced. But today, I will be their voice. The voice of my generation. I will make the appeal of hope and rescue. Destiny's Rescue is an organization mission to rescue kids from human trafficking, to set them free and keep them free. Today we are announcing a partnership with Destiny's Rescue and Tate Emmons Ministries, and we're asking you to partner with us. For a monthly commitment only $40 or any gift that you can give, you will become actively in the fight to save these children's lives. And as of our way of saying thank you, I'll send you my debut album, Means Something to Me, along with Christmas with Tate, as our gift to you. By following the QR code at the bottom of the screen or going to tateemmons.com, you can become an official partner. A partner to save a stolen generation whose voices have been silenced. Let's be their voice. Let's stand in the gap for my generation.